Everybody. Welcome to Vaccine Game. Things are a little bit different tonight. I know the overlay hasn't changed, but that's because this kind of happened last minute. Someone pointed out to us that this week is actually our year anniversary of starting this campaign and corruption game. So I figured we'd try and do something interesting. Let's see, what did I call this? Anniversary Armageddon.
Oh.
Yay.
That sounds
Yay.
Our lovely players are not playing their normal characters. When it comes to, I will have them introduce themselves to you. But in the meantime, the year is 21 YA. It's 400 years prior to when the last time you saw these players and their characters. And the height of the machine war looms over the entire world. That was not intentional, literally. I just put a AYA in the chat.
Yeah.
The machine war has now raged for 8 brutal years. The peoples of Radix have been brought to their knees, and things are looking extremely dire, especially most obviously in the city of Automata, the machine empire that still contains a handful of refugees and people that were not able to make it out of the city, and maintains still is a sort of a battleground for the machine war. You guys are all soldiers in this machine war. Whether or not that's what you were prior to now, that's what you've all now evolved into. The city around you is absolute chaos. There are no lights on usually. The only lights that are seen, you don't want to go anywhere near because it means that the machines are there. Most of the buildings are burnt out and ruined, and a lot of them are currently being turned into scrap by other machines. It's very Terminator-esque. It's not a pleasant place. And that said, that's where we find the group of you guys. You 6 are currently en route to a sort of transient meeting space where you're supposed to meet with one of the generals in the war to tell you where you're next heading to. And I'm going to have everybody roll initiative, please.
Oh, fuck. And that's when everyone realized they didn't know their own stats.
Shoot, I have no idea.
19.
God, why?
Rose Draxi is 1 not for rushing, for Rose Draxi had a 5.
Got 9? No,
Okay.
sorry, a 7. Why do I have a negative dex, cat?
Because De-Fraggers are slow as fuck. It's just required.
Ugh.
Everybody needs a dump
You don't
stat,
need
okay?
Unless you're going to be really balanced, there's no real reason.
Better than being one who only survives off the sustenance of fruit roll-ups.
You know, the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure Lilia has a higher dex than hers.
Let's see. When does build Kiru go?
Build is gotta roll a 9.
Okay.
So
and what about Ahsoka?
11.
Nice.
We're level 20, you guys.
Werner?
19.
Nice. And Bartok?
19.
Okay, I'm gonna say I think
Wait.
Werner. Actually,
Flat.
Quick question. When you do initiative, is it just your dex modifier or do you add your
If you have a feat like alert, it would add to it. But unless you
none
don't
of you
have
do.
that, it's just Dex mod.
Okay. Just making sure.
So I'm going to say that all of you, you're not surprised because you did see this thing in the distance as you were coming around the corner. However, it is very, very fast as you all see a disassembler bot. Currently, a group of them, it looks like about 3 of them, currently breaking down parts of this like apartment building. And they just sort of like take scrap of like bricks and mortar out and just push it into like a container in the back behind them, and it comes out underneath a just raw processed block of the same unit. And all of them turn, little arm things clacking toward you guys. Let's see. They are I'm gonna say they're gonna go after the people that go first because that makes sense. So the first one is going to make 3 attacks on Bartok. And Bartok, what sort of weapons and armor are you wearing?
Currently, I have some glamored studded leather, and my AC is 18. And as far as weaponry, I've got the Equalizer, which is a lovely piece of hardware with a manual like 3 pages long, and it's a lot. It's a lot, but also you know, I've got my kitty claws, so I will be able to do, you know, retaliate in kind if I need to.
So that is a dirty 20 to hit Bartok with the first attack. And that is 6 damage. Attack number 2. That's a miss. That's like a 12. And attack number 3, that's another dirty 20 for 7 more points of piercing damage. And you can see that it is trying to get to your weapon. But
you said 7?
7. But very obviously, you are not letting that shit go. Versus Werner Fat Rabbit. 3 on you. That is an 18 to hit you.
Nope.
And way worse. And there we go. That's a 22.
It hits.
For 4 points or 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And last one is against Ahsoka. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a 25 to hit.
Is Ahsoka at 5 feet away from me?
Yeah, they were all sort of like walking together. So yeah.
I will impose disadvantage to the attack.
Oh, okay. It rolled a 2. That does not hit. Protection fighting style, guys.
Yeah.
Oh God, balls! Why am I rolling? That's a 10. Oh, hey, look, another 25 to hit. Yeah. For 10 points of slashing damage or piercing damage. And Ahsoka, what kind of armor are you wearing?
I don't know.
I want to say it might be plate mail. What's your
AC is 19. I don't see where the armor is. I'm looking in.
You have plate mail. Yeah.
Okay.
It says under your gear, like at the very bottom underneath all of your cool magic shit.
Oh, okay.
Apologies, folks. We planned this in like the equivalent of 20 minutes, so I made people's character sheets, and they're not super familiar with them. So your armor now has a -1 penalty, so your AC is 1 lower, as it's still started taking chunks out of your armor and just scoops them into the machine behind it, and little teeny tiny bricks come out, maybe about the size of like a Rubik's Cube, that were made from your shiny armor. That's their turns. Bartok, what would you like to do?
Well, that didn't feel very nice. He's going to consider his options really quick here, and honestly, I think the best thing that he's going to do is he'll use a bonus action to lock on, because it's right in fucking front of him. And then he's just going to whip his equalizer up, and since he doesn't have anything else slotted except for his normal ammo right now, he's just going to take a couple of retaliatory shots here. All right, so let me find the bonus hit for this bad boy.
It's up with the attacks.
Oh, okay. I've got like 5 windows open really. Okay, so it's gonna be the 28 hit.
28 to hit. Yeah, that would hit.
Yeah. Okay, and I believe hair trigger gives me an extra attack.
It does, yes.
Okay, so I would like to do that, but that one's not an advantage, correct?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay, does a 19 hit?
It does, yes.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Its normal ammo is 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
2 times. Cool. All right. And is that 2d8 plus dex or just 2d8 flat?
2d8 plus dex.
Okay. And, okay. So the first shot is going to be 5 damage. Okay, so the first shot is 16 piercing damage. The second shot is going to be 10.
Okay.
All right.
These things do look like they have been around the block. They've taken a decent amount of damage from various other encounters they've had. So that one does actually die, or at least fall to the ground, unmoving, not floating or flying around anymore. I had a picture of these things, and now I can't find it. Yeah, that's one of the 3 down. Werner, what would you like to do?
Yeah. I will so yeah, I'm wearing this jet black plate armor with a halo that is neon orange, and all my armor will start from the cracks in the middle will start to glow orange, and I will engulf myself on fire.
Nice.
And then I will just throw a ball of fire to the one that is farthest away from me.
It needs to make a dex save, right?
Yeah, 15 DC.
So it was an 18, and then it turned into a 2. So that's a 4?
Yeah, so it's 86.
Good old fireball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. $27 fire damage. But it's
Okay,
neon orange
that one-
damage.
That one does look like it's a little tougher, so that one's still up, but it's definitely looking wounded. Yeah, that's anything else you're doing with your turn?
No.
For those wondering, this is what the thing looks like, except with slightly less gore.
Oh, okay, cool.
Rad.
Oh, fun.
Those wondering, it's from Arcana of the Ancients, the new Monty Cook 5e supplement. It's super awesome, and I love it.
Where is it available?
That
on?
is fun.
Retroverse.
Drive-through RPG. I think?
Monty Cook's website. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely it's on Monty Cook's website. It might be on drive-through. Yeah, so that's Werner's turn. Ahsoka, what would you like to do?
Sorry about your emo dad.
How many are left?
There are two. One of them is pretty severely wounded.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the one that isn't severely wounded, and I believe I get 4 attacks.
You sure do.
But hang on a second. I think I have a thing. As a bonus action, I would like to extend a charge for the Storm Heart Tempest. So the next melee weapon attack I make deal an extra 3d8 lightning damage.
Holy shit.
So, what weapons do I have? Okay, great. So I'm going to try to attack. I'm going to reroll because it was cocked. All right, that's a 23 to hit.
That hits, yeah. Make sure
Okay,
you split up your lightning damage and your slashing. Or bludgeoning, whichever
Okay.
weapon you're using.
It's a great sword, so slashing. All right, 4, 5. So that's 9 plus 6. That's 15 slashing damage, and then I forgot what the other thing was already.
3d8 lightning.
4, 5, 10 lightning damage.
Okay. So you hit it, and like your sword sort of it slides against the metal with this like loud grating sound, and you're realizing, oh, that metal's really fucking tough. It's made of the very, very strong steel that these machines are used to. However, the second later, after like a millisecond after impact, when that lightning crackles up from your heart and up through your arm and into the sword and into this machine, it just like vibrates for a second with the shock of it. It did not seem to like the lightning damage. That was your first attack. Do you want to do anything else?
I got 3 more attacks.
Go for it.
We're gonna be here a while.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't really do anything else with the lightning damage, so I'll just attack 3 more times with my greatsword. Wow, that's this is insane. A 28 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Level 20 characters, man.
Ah.
Oh my gosh. I rolled 2 1s, so
Oh.
8 damage.
Okay.
And then 8 slashing damage, and then 22 to hit.
That hits, yeah.
Okay, that is the wrong dice. 3, 4, 7 plus 6. It's 13 damage, slashing damage, and then 1 more attack. 18 to hit. I don't.
That hits, actually, yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
On the dot.
1, 4 plus 6, that's 10 damage.
Okay. That one is down. Give me I'm reading a thing.
Oh, cool! It explodes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It does not explode. It does not explode. Sorry, I was reading another thing. Anything else Ahsoka is doing with her turn?
Nope.
All
I
right.
haven't read all of my stuff yet. No,
It's fine. Build, what would you like to do?
I'm already transformed. Yes, I would assume so.
Yeah, I would assume that you guys are already have transformed or cast mage armor or whatever would make sense for you guys to be traveling through a battlefield having done.
In the
Gotcha.
time of war, you always need to be prepared.
Okay, so his armor kind of looks like that,
Nice.
except it is, instead of it being blue and red, it's yellow. And right now it's kind of like a base color of like navy blue or something like that. And how far away are the machines?
You can get to them with your they're probably about, I think the furthest one that was away is about 30 feet away or so.
Okay. So I'm gonna run to them.
Okay.
Kind of down low. Not quite a ninja run, but
I can't believe this nerd is Naruto running into this battle.
run, and he is going to gonna punch him. I'm just gonna do all three at once. Those aren't great, not bad.
Remember your charge thing? I think if you move more than 20 feet, you get advantage on your first attack. The battle charger.
Let's see, battle charger. If you move at least 15 feet or more towards target, you can add an additional damage die to the attack. If you use your entire movement, you make this attack at advantage. Okay. Which I guess I did. I'm going towards that one.
Yeah. You rolled advantage.
Okay, so mark these down real quick. 15, 14, 2. Okay, so I guess it'd be the first one. So
Yeah, the first one gets it, not the others.
yeah, 15, 14. Just roll that 2. Let me make that 17. So that first one's a 17.
17 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
That one actually misses.
Okay. So it runs up and just, I guess the dodges out of the way, or I punch the metal and.
No, you just hit the metal and it is. You realize now that it's not just extremely hard steel, which is what they usually use. It's probably a couple of inches thick. These things are built to take a beating. Usually, it just so happens that these ones have probably been operational for a couple of years. That was your first attack, right?
Mm-hmm. But the other ones weren't. Well, I guess I didn't even add my stuff. Those were just straight rolls.
Yeah, the 14 probably would have hit.
So that was the.
Was the first one with adding your
the first one was just the straight roll.
Oh, then roll
So
add your
it's plus
stuff,
4.
because that
So straight 17 plus 4, 21.
21 would hit, yeah.
Okay. So I'd run up and punch it, and it would spark, because right now with the yellow color, he has the lightning elemental damage.
Nice.
As unarmed strikes.
Okay. So if the first one hit, then it would have been 2d10 damage because you ran your movement, so you get to add an extra damage die.
So that's 8 plus strength plus 4. So 8 plus 4, 12.
Nice.
12 lightning damage for the first attack. Just run up, big wind up, and
Yeah. So like you hit it and you your knuckles hit that steel and they're going to be bruised. But the second that electricity shoots through, you see again it start to like shake, and like down below the like bricks that it had been putting in sort of just crumble out the bottom, half formed. That was your first attack. What about your other two?
Okay, the other one would have been a total of 19.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Same thing, but only one die.
Yeah, only 1d10 plus strength.
That would be a total of 10.
Okay.
Left hand winds up, another big punch.
Yeah.
And
Last attack?
the attack would have been a 18.
That hits on the dot.
Nice. So that one, I actually want to have it be a signature move.
Oh.
So you can see it like swap the yellow stays, but his like navy bluish color would swap, and it would be kind of a light bluish color. And his right fist kind of grows slightly bigger as you just hear like booming clash of magneton or whatever, and he just
Giant lightning kanji comes up and goes like doom 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 doom.
Perfect.
and so it hit. So on a hit, then
Oh.
Perfect time to freeze.
First time for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that I haven't yet, considering Kevin is still downloading the other 27 hours worth of Final Fantasy.
I was gonna say, don't jinx it.
Yeah, please. Keep talking about how much.
Because I was seriously expecting you like halfway through that sentence to be like, I'm surprised it has happened.
I'm gonna see if that ability that he's using requires a dex save, so I can go ahead and.
Wow.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully he'll be back shortly. Yep, there he is.
Yay!
Welcome back.
sorry.
It
That's
happened.
alright.
House, what are you
Shit
gonna do?
happens.
Or was I?
You had just punched with the special attack with the booming slash of the Magnetodon.
Yeah, that one.
So you make an unarmed strike attack like normal to see if you hit.
I think I did that. That was the 18.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did. Okay, cool. Jesus, it takes 4d10 thunder damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna get beyond the Thunderdome.
4d10. So that would be 10, 12, 16 thunder damage.
Okay.
And the thing must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet back.
16.
Miss. It's a fail.
Yeah. So you run up and just pummel this thing twice more, and then pull your fist back and hit it one more time, and it just sort of like fritzes out, and sort of the like jets keeping it afloat start to sputter, and then it gets blasted back by the magnetodon power into the wall, and slumps down to the street, and there is now a disassembler shaped outline in the wall, and no enemies as far as you can see right now. However, you guys did just make a little bit of a ruckus.
You didn't even leave me anything to fight. Come on.
In the meantime, I'm gonna say in initiative, so that they actually get to do something. What does Trouble look like? And then we'll go around back to the rest of the party.
Trouble has like completely black skin with little glowy freckles all over her. Has long, like neon purple hair and long black horns that go around her head. She's wearing a flannel and and like several pieces of like jewelry on her pointy ears. Just a lot of studs and a lot of little trinkets that she found. And in one hand she has a big old shield, and in the other one she got sword, and on the back she has more swords. And she's very small. She's like 5'3", something like that. Yeah.
I love her. So what does Rose and Draxie look like?
Oh, that's me. Hello.
Hi.
So
I had you guys change your names.
Rose and when Trouble says, "Oh, you didn't leave anything for me to fight," or something similar to that. Coming out of the shadows comes Rose Draxie, and Rose Draxie has hourglasses in his eyes. No, I'm kidding. He's not that. Old school D&D joke.
Murder him early.
So a Ceran comes out of the shadows. His robes look like a polygon grid matrix, and inside it seems like there seems to be a constant flow of a very dark galaxy with very few stars, just enough to be able to see there's movement flowing through it. On his front horn, his transmutation stone is shaped like a ring, and it fits over top of his horn, and it's like a jade-like color, we'll say.
Nice.
His eyes glow white when they are visible under his angsty, huge hood that he's got over top of himself. The staff that he wields, a powerful staff, one might say a staff of power. Looks like, the rods that they used for the light cycles in Tron? Imagine that, but as a staff instead. And on the very end of the staff is a dodecahedron, a 12-sided prism.
Nice.
That is purple, hard light, and then like the edges of it are pink, neon glowing, and it's constantly rotating, floating about an inch away from the end of it.
Nice. Okay, back on up to the top. What does Bartok look like, Jesse?
Okay, so Bartok is basically like he has a tabaxi of average height and slight of build. He's not especially beefy. He's kind of light, and he's wearing like that sort of like black techno fiber looking sort of suit right now. It's glamour weave, so like it'll change, but right now he's got it looking like it's in stealth suit mode. But at the top of the neck of the stealth suit is popping this big floofy kind of main old face, and he's got a scar across one eye, and in place of one of his main eyes is like it's a red cat's eye with like a gold eye, pupil, but it's not actually illuminated. It's just really reflective, so that if you look him right in the eye, it looks like it's glowing, but it still won't give him away in the dark. And then on his one hand, he's got like this sort of, it's almost like a palm, almost like a slave's bracelet or something, where it's like jewelry across the back of the hand. That's his, that's the way he uses his spell chamber ability.
Okay, cool. Next is Werner Fat Rabbit, whose name we definitely didn't randomly roll in Xanathar's guide.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you can see this, it's very small because it's a halfling, and you cannot see its face because it's in the full plate armor, like full plate armor. So it's like this small space marine, but with the helmet of like an old Republic Mandalorian, and it's all jet black. But right now you can see a cape of flames and a halo that is also burning, and it wears like a really big shield, which it could be a regular shield for everyone, but for him it's like super big with the shape of a rabbit. And a sword that's orange, and the hilt is green, so it looks like a carrot.
Oh my god!
I guarantee you that Bartok has made probably about 5 different kinds of jokes about self-heating canned dinners.
I mean, it is
It's a rabbit in a
almost
can.
Easter, I guess.
Werner's catchphrase. What's up, Doc? After casting
The
the
helmet in the suit also has like big rabbit ears.
I like to think like if you do like a 5th level smite and you critted, you're like, what's up, Doc?
I love how like the first half of this description is like badass Mandalorian burning wings,
Face
and then it's
blade.
like, and then it's a rabbit.
It's a bunny! A good bunny run!
All right. Up next, what does Ahsoka look like?
Ahsoka is a no-nonsense, gigantic beefy orc, mom friend. She has scars all over her face because she's been in several battles. She's actually a commander. She is dressed like how your mom did in the 80s. Except that she's got a full plate over that, but like mom jeans and like a really like colorful shirt that I found on Pinterest that I'm gonna put it on my gigantic orc person.
I mean, listen, that sounds like a mom move, so you're getting in the right mindset.
And she has a bunch of weapons on her back, and she just looks over her friends. She's gigantic. She's really tall. She's like almost 7 feet tall, and she looks over her friends, and she is. I'm proud of you all.
I didn't do anything. You beat it up too good.
It's fine. She passed your head.
Patronize me.
And then what is I think we got a little bit of description from Build, but if there's anything else that you wanted to share about what they look like, Reese.
That was him armored. He can pop out of armor real quick, just kind of little and then disappears. And
that would be unwise, Kiryu.
And he wears a hat like over, just like way past his eyes. Just
the snoot covers it, so you can't see a goddamn thing.
Just, and then he wears like a jacket kind of popped up there, kind of brown, just whatever. Probably wasn't that color originally, but it is now. Dust and dirt. Just, well, it's better than that they die than we do. He's from underneath the clothing, you can tell he's should be white, but again, kind of dust and dirt and sand and stuff.
And he is a winter Bunori, right?
Winter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's everybody. For clarification, because I think there was a handful that didn't mention it. Scotty is playing a Ceran. Ahsoka is an orc. Werner is obviously a halfling. Turbo is obviously a tiefling. Build is a Wunari, and Bartok is, I'm having a blank.
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi, that is right. It's fine. I didn't build these characters like 12 hours ago. That's totally fine. So you guys are now alone. Oh, excuse me, alone in the street with the remnants of a handful of these disassembler machines. You were sent to meet up with a smaller regiment of the army and one of their generals. And you were told to meet them at the arcade, and you're fairly certain that you should be relatively close. Anything you guys want to do before you continue on from here?
Commander, we should not hesitate.
A couple might be attacking from the front, and there'll be more clankers along soon, and I might want to head and go up the top side. start scouting out for trouble.
Can I like grab scraps from the robobot? Bot?
The Robobot?
Yeah. Just kind of ripping into it and like, yeah, yeah, this is gonna work.
Oh, we forgot the most important role that every Retroverse character has to roll.
Of course, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so since you mentioned it first, what's Rose Draxie's athletics check?
Oh God.
Rose Draxie is gifted by his family members, for he is an 18. It is not visible quite well in his robes, though.
Wait. I have a question. So, when your character levels up, if it's proficient in athletics, the ass gets better? Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your born heart and ass is just that more beautiful.
Yeah, you're level 20. You have been doing squats for years.
You heard her. It's canon. We have level 20 booties.
So what was Ahsoka's?
I have the best butt of all of my Retroverse characters. I got a 28.
Holy shit!
I think the only person who has a 28 is Yas.
Robots are like, assessing target, error, blows up.
Too beautiful, too beefy.
For those wondering, the athletics check is just an athletics check, and you do it the first time you make your character and never again, and that's what their butt is. If you roll one, they are completely flat.
Yeah.
You roll one, it's a Hank Hill. You got a Hank Hill butt.
Bar talk is comfortably above average at 14.
I got 21.
Nice.
Got a 26, but you won't see it because plate armor.
I don't know. With the 26, I think your plate armor would be built around it custom.
I mean, like, it's custom made, like, it might
Literal
be.
buns of steel.
It does have like the also.
Oh, I gotta ask, does the armor plating for your backside, does it have a little bunny cottontail on the end? Okay.
Oh my god. That's so cute.
And the gloves have toe beams.
You must draw this.
I know, right?
I love all of them so much. Yeah.
Commander Stormfang, we should not tarry. They will know that we were here.
So I'm going to scoot up the nearest building wall and find a rooftop and look out for trouble and listen.
Looking around, you can see that there are definitely patrols going around. Most of the machines, they don't necessarily need to carry light. A lot of them have like the equivalent of dark vision, or they can like see infrared. However, most of them give off a little bit of light, so you can actually see various different groups of machines moving around through the city. You don't see any in the nearest vicinity. You do see one group of what looks like a small patrol of side lights, maybe about 6 or 8 blocks away. However, you do also see, more importantly, a broken sort of crooked sign hanging down that you're only really able to make out because of your dark vision, because it is currently evening now. And you can see that it is a broken, not lit up sign for an arcade.
I have eyes on
It's
the
maybe
destination,
about-
but there's a couple of blighters out there.
Did you point it out to us?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then she just
So
walks
he'll
up.
come back down and like indicate which way is the fucking arcade, but
Alright, let's fucking go! I'm
Um,
moving. I'm going. Move.
A clawed dinosaur-like hand plops out of the robes and waves like this. And as it does, like a horizontal line opens up, and you see like the grid. And coming out of it is a chest. Goes whoa. As my Liamon's secret chest, I just activate it.
Ooh.
And I open it, and inside you see like a little capsule thing with a little trigger pin on the top, and I go, and I throw it in the ground, and it puffs smoke, and it turns into a giant owl as I activate my jade statue owl. and I'm flavoring it for Retroverse. And I said, I will send the Whobot to scout for us.
Why are we gonna scout? Let's just go.
And it's a
We're
giant.
supposed to go there.
And it's literally a giant
For the
version.
city.
It's a giant version of the Jason the Argonaut mechanical owl. It's just a giant version of it.
Whoa.
And it goes,
Nice.
ooh. And it keeps a circle, and I always have constant telepathic communication with it. So.
Oh, okay.
Them drones.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. It is a magical drone that you know cannot be hacked. Nice. Yeah. So you can you do see that the owl does telepathically tell you fairly certain that's where the target we're going for is, because I think it's intelligent. I don't remember how smart a giant owl is.
They are
Yeah.
8 intelligence. They're pretty smart.
Yeah, they can recognize
I thought it was scouting
Arcadis.
for hostiles for us while we were on the way.
Also, it's large size, so this is like not a small thing.
Oh yeah, no.
They're proficient with stealth, but I don't know.
How do you miss a giant owl? Who knows?
Ooh.
It's painted black and it's night out.
Oh yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Yeah, Cat. I'm
So it's a night owl?
I'm charging forward. I am
Okay.
whizzing by, or trying to, because apparently I'm bulky now.
Mhm.
Never played a bulky character before.
Rostraki's size, you don't see his feet move, so it looks like he just hovers as he moves forward, following trouble.
It's not a small at all.
Following trouble in its wake.
Nice.
Thank you.
You guys continue on. You're fairly certain, based on where Broadtalk said that the other group of Psyblades were patrolling, as long as you don't make too much of a ruckus and you get away from where you were pretty quickly, you won't be spotted. You make your way to that arcade, and the sign that's sort of hanging down is sort of like mostly blocking the doorway. It had been like those glass double doors, but they've since just shattered completely. And now to get in the building, you would have to either move the sign or to like squeeze underneath of it. Werner is the only one that can easily enough just walk through.
I Misty Step.
A little bit of a duck. The rest of you kind of got a nice. Okay. So you Misty Step into the arcade and sort of look around.
I like to think that Misty Step looks like M. Bison's move. Or just
Nice.
I'm there.
You sort of look around and gauge your surroundings, and it looks like none of the machines are really active except for one. A lot of them are still getting power, it seems, because like the lights are lit up, but all of the screens are broken. Most of them are like on their side. There's one that looks like it has just been like smashed to pieces by God knows what. You don't see any people. You don't see any signs of any signs of life here at the moment.
Do I see signs of Kung Fury on the one that got smushed to bits?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay. How about the Tron machine? How's the Tron machine looking?
What are you talking about? You calling me out here or something? The one machine that is still active, or that is still like fully in not destroyed, does look like it's active, like it's turned on. You sort of look over, it doesn't look like it's been destroyed or anything. You sort of like being an astute sort of character and checking for traps and that sort of thing, you don't see the like telltale signs of where it like slides out to reveal like a hidden door. You can go ahead and make an investigation check for me if you'd like.
Okay.
Or perhaps a survival check if you wanted to check for like traps or signs of movement or anything. Traps,
yeah, I think I'll make
not
a
traps.
survival check. Make it a survival check to check for signs of passage and that sort of thing, more than looking for traps. Okay. That's the wrong PDF. There we go. There. It was a 15 on the die, and I've got like crazy bonus. So, oh, here we are. It's the dirty 30.
Nice. So looking at it, you don't see so like it's a little difficult to tell initially because like this entire place is just filled with dust and dirt, and you're imagining this city is just wild with various different like rats and cats and wild animals and whatnot that roam through. So it's not that strange that these sort of abandoned buildings get some foot traffic. What you do notice though is it looks like this specific game, although it's been very well maintained, it looks like the joystick is very well worn. Like it's seen a lot of use. Even though like a lot of the parts of it look like they've been replaced and repaired. Sort of like skimming around, you do see what looks like a small tuft of cloth, a little bit of like red cloth, sort of like tucked under the machine.
I would like to pick that cloth up and examine it a little closer.
Okay. Looks to just be like maybe about yay big or so, little scrap of it. Obviously torn off. Looks like plaid.
Like what? Like plaid?
Mm-hmm.
Plaid.
Okay. Well, this is already off to a roaring start. What do you make of this here? He's going to pass it off to the Rose Draxi. And Trouble, try to keep your mitts off of the joystick.
Rose Draxi has it in his hand, and it does like the Batman animated series intro where the white eye is just narrow, and I'm just looking at this cloth. I'm going to try an Arcana check, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Go for it.
Let's see his stuff. Oh yeah, okay, there it is. Woo. 21.
It doesn't seem to be arcane in nature. It definitely doesn't look like it's as old as the rest of this building, though. It definitely is much newer. Just by the virtue of like you've been around the block, you're well aware of like, okay, well, you know, all of the senses. It smells like fresh, like freshly laundered. It doesn't look like it's been here for very long.
Cat, I got a 23 on breaking the joystick off. Can I do that?
And how many pieces?
Well, I just want the structure of it. It's a virtual piece. I want it.
You break it.
Excellent.
The machine starts making all kinds of weird noises, like it's trying to, like, it thought you were playing the game, and then you broke the joystick.
I meant to do that. Definitely.
Well done. Good job.
I swear to God, I'm just gonna stop touching it. I'm just gonna back away.
Swearing to deities is something you shouldn't do full-heartedly.
Please, come on. It's not like we haven't met a bunch of deities.
Exactly.
Who gives a shit?
I don't suppose you know Mending Bear.
Who hasn't partied with the party god?
Oh, Clippy, give me strength.
Boy, you rang?
Ultimate mom friend god. Canon.
Do I recognize the cloth?
I mean, it's just plaid. I mean, it looks like a color that you're very familiar with, and you're guessing that might be who you're here to see.
It smells.
But there's no real way to guarantee anything like that, because it's just a piece of cloth.
It smells of laundry detergent. It hasn't been here long.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we're supposed to be here, so maybe they're not here yet, or they're in hiding.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start banging my swords together, like, "Hey, we're here!"
Quiet, you fool! Where was it originally at?
quiet the fool, and you have fucking giant owls. It's such a shame I didn't give you a giant eagle. Damn.
Listen,
I
I'm
am-
sorry.
I am
Your
Owl
name is
Man.
Trouble. That's she asked you.
I'm the one who whoos in the night.
So, like, looking around the back of this thing, is there, like, any obvious sort of, like, secret passageways and shit behind this cabinet? With that 30 survival?
So like the survival is to see like how this area has like the effects of time and like
Right,
what
but there's
kind
no
of
tracks going
things
behind the
leave.
cabinet, right?
There are no tracks going behind the cabinet. As far as you can tell, the wall behind the cabinet is completely smooth. Like you look behind and there's like a power outlet going into the wall, which is actually kind of strange because it's not that often that you see like perfectly intact power sources like that. Usually it's much more haphazard these days with a lot of like wires going everywhere to generators and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Whoever rebuilt this thing clearly knew what they were doing.
So, you've broken the game machine.
I didn't mean to.
While that's
I mean, I
happening,
literally said don't touch, and the first thing you did was go touch.
while that's happening,
It
I
would
did.
look cool. Look at it. It's like, oh my god. Like, can you imagine if we make like a pilot ship out of it, and then you can control it with the joystick, and then you can go bang, 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 bang.
As fun as that sounds, and it really does, I think it would be better perhaps if we had not broken the arcade and could find the person that we're supposed to.
I can put it back. It's fine.
Could you?
Give me a second, Scotty. Let me check that spell.
Just then, a spectral hand comes up on the Joy-Con, and as it touches it, it mends it.
See,
Oh,
I did
I
it.
do have things.
I am amazing.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it. Actually, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think that would be considered. Yeah, you do sense a great deal of like magic auras underneath the floor, seemingly what's the range on this? Yeah, 30 feet, yeah. Seemingly on the floor, it seems like this thing goes down rather than just upstairs as well.
I believe the secret passage we're looking for is not forward, but downwards. I sense much magic below us.
You can easily enough mend the broken joystick back onto the machine if you would like.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I'm just.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, taking that advice, I'm gonna take the newly mended joystick and push down. That does anything.
Just pushing down doesn't seem to do anything. It does activate it, and it looks like it's actually not a Tron game. It is a fighting game.
How many? Is there an A button and a B button?
Yes.
I know of a secret code that a guild would use, and I go over to it, and I go up to the analog and stick, and I go up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B. Does that do anything?
You hear a loud click, and for a second you're like, shit. I thought he said he looked for traps, but you don't say anything, you just think it. And the joystick actually comes out of your hand as the entire machine just drops about 2 inches and then slowly starts to descend into the floor, leaving a hole where it was and a sort of like relatively flimsy, like the heavier of you guys might be like, I'm gonna tread lightly because that doesn't look very strong, set of folding stairs that extends down into the floor below, where you can very obviously see a great deal of like light and sound and people talking and different things, which you couldn't hear above at all.
I proceed down without hesitating.
I yank the joystick out of your hand and go down before you.
Make another strength check because it's fixed now.
That's a 26.
Yes, you have a now broken joystick. There's like like an elf man off to the side that had sort of like been writing on a tablet when you guys come down the stairs, and he's like, "Why did you break the machine?" Okay, all right.
Don't worry about it.
I'll let the general know you're here.
She-
I assume you are the group that she asked for.
That
The
is
ones
correct.
and only.
We
All right.
we are the squadron for Commander Stormfang.
Yeah, Squadron Supreme. That's us.
Do not mind trouble, for she lives
I
up to
did
her
not
name.
intend it, but I'm not even gonna lie. Stormfang Squadron sounds fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
Bartok is going to post up against the wall closest to the stairwell and keep an ear out for trouble.
Okay. Looking around this entire, it looks like there's maybe about 25 people or so milling about in here, moving around. It looks like all of them are busy. Most of them are on like tablets. There's like a wall of computers that you can see have various different parts of the city on video. And others just have computers running like simulations on various different kinds of weaponry and battle tactics and sorts of things. And the elf that you were talking to just sort of like gestures you over and leads you off to a side room. And he's like, if you want to wait in here, I'll get her. She'll just be a minute. Do you guys need like water or coffee or anything? I think we have coffee still. Might not be the freshest, but it exists. It's instant coffee, but
Some
Do you
clean
need
water would-
anything?
Oh,
no.
Wasn't talking to you.
Oh, okay. He just leaves. So you guys are left alone in this room. It's like one of those very small, cozy conference room looking things with a folding table that looks like it's been stained with various like marker drawings and different things. There's a heavily drawn upon and edited and scribbled on map of the city of Automata that you guys are in right now.
Right. Can I draw a little devil on the?
Yes, you can. I will say you have a pen in your pocket.
Oh, she do. It doesn't go anywhere with like some fucking markers.
Before she gets too far, I misty step over to it and I study what all they have set up on there.
good lord.
You're gonna use the shit out of that, aren't you?
I can
Love it.
cast it at will. Why wouldn't I?
I know, it's the best. Spell
Why
mastery
walk anywhere,
skill, it's
ever?
amazing.
Exactly. Well, I wish I kind of wish I'd levitate at will as well, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
I mean, you can change them.
No, you can only have like one of each spell level.
Oh, yeah.
No, anyway, so my investigation roll, I'm not proficient in, so 14. Just to
Okay,
understand
what are you
what all they got set up here. Like, is there like a specific battle plan? I'm pretty much trying to see what I think they want us here for. If they want us for like a recon mission or whatnot.
Looking at it, you can. It's very easy to tell.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah, you fool.
It was jinxed.
Just because you've seen them many a times before.
We
Hi.
need to roll back because you froze for a while.
I apologize. I pulled out my arcane tablet and accidentally pressed time stop.
Leave the universe time stream alone, damn it.
Yeah, we can't keep doing this. Time travel is frustrating as hell.
It's not time travel, it's just time pausing. Anyway, you can easily enough tell that a handful of the little spaces marked are machine outposts because you've seen them in the city often enough, and they're exceedingly obvious because they're the places no one dares go to. You do see one has a like a little post-it note sort of flag thing pointing to it, and the word scribbled on it in Yeah, no, it would be common. Is beacon. And sort of like looking around, you can see that in different parts of the map, sort of scattered all over, in sort of like a crisscrossing pattern, are more of those post-it notes that have the word beacon on them. You've not heard of anything like that. You don't know that those things exist.
I'm hovering over to those sticky notes with beacon on it, and I'm probably investigating those further, ignoring whatever trouble is writing up on the board.
Okay. It doesn't look like all. It looks like the one beacon is on a machine outpost, but it looks like the rest of them are just sort of like in a specific spot, not necessarily like on a location.
She has drawn a portrait of her team.
You got just like an angry little wispy shadow for Restraxi.
Yeah. You got like a big ogre lady that's like twice as big as everybody else, and then a little kitty cat and a little like doggo with a hat on it, and then like a little bunny man. Yeah, and clearly like herself. But what do you think?
Really good art.
Thank you. I try.
It is a
I
drawing.
assume that's me. It's pretty much
you like
on
it?
scale. Yeah. I like
yeah. I'm trying. I don't have my spray paints anymore, so this is what we're up to go with.
As you two are sort of like looking over it, you all hear from the doorway, yeah, it's a pretty good representation. I like it. And standing in the doorway is a Wunari woman with an eye patch and sort of tawny brown fur, wearing like sort of like the equivalent of Kevlar, with a red flannel jacket over it.
Ah, you're the one. I think we have something that belongs to you.
How old is that flannel? Oh my fucking god.
What do you mean? It should be new. Oh, damn it, did it rip again?
Yes,
They told
it did.
me to stop making it close so fast.
Yes, it did. As I just missed a step right next to her, and I hand her it.
You might want to mend it for her too, lad.
I don't know that one.
I cast mend. There you go.
Okay. She's like, well, have a seat. I'm obviously Bisca Archer, if you haven't heard of me.
Who has not heard of you? Hero out of time. As I sit down.
I have not heard of her. Who is that?
She's the main reason we traveled this far.
Yeah, it's been a while, but you know.
Okay.
So, I appreciate it, but we're all trying to win this war. Nothing special. So the reason that I called you guys is because we have something we're planning, and it's going to be, hopefully, it'll be that last pebble that tips the scale for us in our side. But we need these things, and she points at the little sticky notes that have the word beacon. We need those things to make it happen.
Beacons,
We have
that makes sense.
we have a device that Henshin Command has been working on that they think will pretty much stop the machines in their tracks. But the only way that we can pull it off is if we can fry the hive mother brains that are left in the city that are buried under God knows how much concrete and whatnot. We have several in place already, sort of hidden. We have a couple of teams that are porting out more now. The last one, though, is in an outpost, and it's she points to it and she says, and it's not any outpost. Build, you know this one very familiarly. That outpost is the home to one of the machine lords. They are the equivalent of the generals of the machine army. They are incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous and completely one of a kind.
You're not talking about them, are you?
Yeah, it's a machine lord. From what I know, it's not as bad as the one that that Yost and I took out. With a little help, of course. So it is not going to be quite as deadly, hopefully, but he's not going to let you just put up the beacon. So I'm going to need some of you to distract him while at least one or two of you get the beacon up and functioning.
If this is the last beacon, then this must be something they've seen multiple times. The machines adapt and they change their tactics. We should be prepared for them to counter us.
We are. That's why the others are hidden. The handful that we were able to put in a place where we were certain that they can't get to have already been put up. The others are waiting for our signal, for basically for you guys to start, and then all of the signals will be put up at the same time. And then once the signal is up, then we can trigger the weapon to hopefully end this thing for good.
Where is the specific location the beacon needs to be set?
It's on the top of the tower that they occupy. We sort of call it Hollow Tower because it kind of is. They've taken all of the like glass and plastic and everything basically out except for the steel structure to manufacture it into other things and other machines and whatnot.
Do we have any form of map?
Actually, yes. Give me a second. I'll put it in the Zoom chat. Let me see if I can find this map. She says, the beacon will go at the top of the tower. They'll likely see you coming, considering there's not a lot of cover between here and there. Or between once you get to the base of the tower, at least.
Has there been any reconnaissance in the location? What kind of defenses would we be expecting?
They've mined the area. You'll have to watch out for proximity bombs. They have turrets placed all over the place, so be careful of that. They usually have a patrol on every floor. It's not going to be easy, but we can send a small squad with you to help try and clear out some of the drone satellites, at least. The more advanced ones are going to be a lot more difficult.
The beacon, does it need to be planted on the exterior of the top of the tower or in a specific location up there?
It should be relatively obvious. The tower, it was once a radio tower for a TV station. So we're going to be, they designed it to fit directly on top of that to sort of try and use that infrastructure that's still there. Actually, you have questions about side-blades. Give me a second. Let me get somebody that might be able to help.
And
she sort of like leaned
about the surrounding area.
Yes.
What kind of defenses are around the perimeter and the exterior of this structure?
Turrets and landmines.
They have one that's pretty devastating. That is called. Let me see what it's called. They call most of their landmines or their bombs detonations because they're exceedingly literal machines. They call this one a detonation of spawning. It's basically a landmine that teleports in other landmines.
Wow, they're really creative with the naming structure.
More to the point, what kind of, are there any buildings nearby?
Necessarily give them creativity.
Didn't get that.
And the image of the tower or the tower that you guys are going to is in the chat. I'm gonna see if I can get an actual map of it.
Oh my god, there's maps.
It's a very rough map. It's not like a full on.
Ah, I see. It is Wunari craft. Sorry, bad pun. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry, bad pun.
This looks like what would
Trying to
happen
make jokes.
if the Matrix machine race made a dildo or something.
Oh, ay.
The machine matrix is the metaphorical dildo that is for all of us here.
Well,
Oh, look at
we have been jokingly calling those things the fuck me's. Final ultimate kill machine enhanced or some bullshit name that they came up with. Yeah.
I love those.
Oh.
Oh shit, I just had she's like, I just pulled up the data on those landmines and I told you about. They're set to randomize. There's one that does cell disruption, which will it targets only like flesh and blood beings. So if we were lucky enough to have any Restless on the party, it probably wouldn't do a ton to them, but it does nothing to the machines and it fucks up humanoids.
Cool.
It deals necrotic damage. Corrosion bomb, lightning, frost one, fire, just a big ass shrapnel one. But you never really know which one you're going to get until you trigger it, is the issue. But regarding the side blights and the machine, give me if you could in here, and she gestures in a man that's sort of human man, dark skin, like puffy brown hair that he has pulled into a ponytail. He's maybe about like in his early 20s, pretty young. And then another man walking behind him, sort of arms crossed, and he's wearing like a white lab coat, slick back blonde hair, and like dress pants. And whereas the other guy is like in a sweater vest and just a sweater vest and jeans. I sort of walk in and she says, points to the guy in the lab coat. That's Dr. Thomas Steele. He is a professor of, well, he was a biomechanical engineering at Automata U. Clearly not anymore. And then this is Professor Schockner. He's a professor of quantum engineering and machinery and knows a lot about the AI. Both of them are resident Cyblight experts and they know machinery inside out. They sort of like
your machine
both
upstairs.
They try to like both enter the room at the same time and sort of run into each other, and the dark skinned guy just Shockner just sort of gives him a filthy look, and the other guy's just like, she's like, they have they don't get along super great. But anyway, and he Shockner's like, no, you're fine. No, you didn't break that thing. I built it. Yost built it. Something about nostalgia or something, and Visca just was like, he has a stupid sense of humor, apparently. Yeah. So Shockner, if you would, and he sort of, okay, so regarding Cyblights, yes, they do have the thing where they can become immune to certain stuff and shit, and that's a problem, obviously. The Machine Lord that you were going after I believe you guys are going after, this is sort of nods. That Machine Lord is, he's a Cyblight, not just a machine. He's a full-on Cyblight. So be careful because his touch can infect. He, as far as we know, he has the ability of flight. He has rocket boosters that he can use. He is, he's pretty much gained through either our own forces or just doing it, targeting himself deliberately, he's gained immunity to several of the lower circle spells. So be aware that once you use a spell, you're probably going to want to change it because he can gain immunity to that one as well. The entire tower is just crawling with side lights, so be aware. And as soon as one of them knows, the rest are going to know that you're there because of the hive mind. I do have the device. He sort of like slips out of the room and comes back with a box about like yay long and like about this long and about this thick or so. He's like he actually opens it up and shows you, and it's pretty simple. It looks pretty much just like an antenna, with a big box on the end filled with wires and whatnot. And he says it should be relatively plug and play, but I'll show you how to go ahead and do it. And he's like very carefully puts it onto the table in front of Trouble.
He slides it over closer to her. And nobody stops her.
I'm gonna pull it the other way. Didn't you break the joystick?
I didn't break it. I just
Twice.
took it.
Like I would prefer, if you're very careful with it, it's one of a kind. I spent many months working on that to make sure that it syncs up with the pulse that we're going to use, so just be careful with it.
I am a big old shield baby. I will protect.
Okay.
Thought you were a
Has
tiefling.
anybody considered going up the outside of this building? Like, as opposed to fighting your way through 10 levels, anybody considered going up the outside?
I already have a plan
I
that
really want to go out there with those giant robots flying in the air and trying to murder you every 2 seconds. Because
Which
I'd
was
rather
entirely
not.
I have a strategy
So you
that'll
the
have
robots
us.
outside, or you having the robots inside. Either way, you're gonna try and get murdered.
I have a strategy that could get us in and out of there in 10 minutes.
I'm listening.
What is the most accurate map that you have for this location? Or even-
this is the rough one we've been using, but
or
I
even
can use
better.
a satellite.
Even better, if there's any object from that tower from the last 6 months. It could be a little nut bolt for all it matters. If you do not have that,
she
I can
sort of-
understand.
She sort of looks over to Shockner and he shrugs and so like you need it from the tower or from like whoever's in charge of the tower.
Either would
Like
work.
the satellite. So like we don't really have access to the tower. We haven't for years, basically since they took the city 8 years ago. But Steele here, he says the chemist should have something. And he, the guy in the lab coat sort of reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small box. It looks just like a little plastic case that you might keep like some like eyeglass cleaner or whatever in it, and pops it open, and inside is a very, very small fried out broken microchip.
My
And he puts it on the table and
my glowing white eyes widen, and then I bison Misty Step over to it, and I investigate it.
he says
Is he keep doing that?
that's the remnants of the AI that became the Cyblights.
This is
You need to
perfect.
keep it- and you realize now, looking at the container that he has, it's actually lined with a very, very thin sheet of lead. We use it to keep an eye on them and scry on them and see what they're doing and everything. Considering we can't exactly trust cameras, but magic still works just the same.
That is perfect. Would you allow me to use such a valuable resource for this mission?
Well, if you're successful, we won't need it anymore.
My plan, as I pull up a minor illusion of like a hologram, a little hologram, because it's minor illusion.
Okay. Yeah.
Getting in the tower will be easy. And you get like the classic movie where it does like the 3D map
Yeah.
BS.
I love it. Yes.
With this here, of course now there's a hologram version of that little scrap, I can teleport us to the top of the tower without error. However, getting out of there might be a bigger issue. I was thinking we could take aerial support instead, and I could change everyone into aerodactyls. We would have a better chance of going against the flying drones instead of the mines. Once we clear the mines, I'll dismiss the spell, and we can continue on foot. Unless anyone else has any other ideas.
She's like, if you want to save your big level spell slots, I'm assuming that's really high. I don't know. That's not something I can do.
Yes, but I am just one of many people here with many different tools. These are the tools I can provide for this mission.
We could probably get you a couple of choppers. They're not the prettiest, and they're not the fastest, but they function. And, hey, they're kind of beat up, so if you crash them, it's not that big a deal. You guys are aware that at this point in the war, things are not going great for the non-constructs of Radix. Their resources are exceedingly low. They're not getting as many soldiers to refill the ranks as they once were. Production of materials and firearms and weapons and helicopters has basically dropped off to nothing. They're trying to make what they have stretch with duct tape and hopes.
Does anyone else here have any other ideas for a means of escaping the tower? I appreciate the choppers, but
bang, and then we're out of there.
One touch from a Cyblight as he jumps, as he Misty steps right up to Trouble, and he goes, one touch, as he just touches you on the shoulder, could turn you into one of them. We want to keep our distance as much as possible. Let them know we're there as little as possible. As Visca said, they can counteract everything we do. So the less time we're there, the less things they can counterattack.
Isn't the point of getting in there to turn on the beacon so we can destroy all of them? So it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if we get in there, then it's fine. And when we get out, it's going to be fine. There will be nothing left.
The issue is the infection that the Cyblight inflict. Trouble, I've fought with you before. This isn't corruption. You're not immune to the infection of a Cyblight. And the magics that we've been trying don't counteract it anymore. You can't just get rid of it with cure disease. The virus has evolved faster than that. And Shockner's, I've asked him to work on a vaccine, but he said that he sort of steps in and he's like, yeah, no, we're nowhere near that. We're centuries away from that kind of tech. I can't build that in a garage with tools from, a car shop. And no offense. And she's like, none taken. I understand. We're kind of running on fumes here.
My second plan B option for when we enter there and try to escape. It would be a long shot, but I might be able to control the commander for a short amount of time, allowing us to be able to leave there without any of them attacking us. Though, they've probably already seen that coming and have countermeasures for my mind-affecting spells.
Wouldn't the point of setting the beacon be to detonate it immediately as soon as we've got it ready and just walk out unassaulted?
That's what I'm fucking saying.
They're not going to leave the top of the tower unattended, and it's not as plug and play. You're going to have to take at least probably about a couple Visca's at least a minute, and Shockner's no, actually probably closer to 30 seconds if you're slow. If you're fast and you know what you're doing, probably a little faster than that, but it's not necessarily plug and play, and they're gonna
she's trouble at the thing of being fast. She just slides over the box to build, and she's like, I'm sure you can do this better than me.
Possibly.
No, a handful of you have artisan's tools. It's not a thing in Retroverse because it hasn't gotten there yet. If any of you would like, you can use, you can say that as part of your Mechanist tool or a part of your Artisan's tools, you have skill with Mechanist tools, which would help you on this in us building this beacon thing when you get there.
Build the wood.
Okay.
We could also take the more eccentric approach and blow a hole in the tower after we set up the beacon, and I can cast Featherfall, and we can have a safe descent downwards, relatively speaking.
Didn't you say that the whole thing was pretty much stripped down to the bones anyway, and it's probably open to the air without having to blow a hole in it?
It is. You could easily climb the outside of it. The issue just is drones and the fact that they can see you because it's basically a bird cage. I mean,
Well,
you
it
can
sounds
shoot
like
in
we're
through
collecting
it, which is
data.
great, but
Hey, Kat, I have a question.
Do we have any air support?
If you jump out of a building and cast Stalwart Shield, would you just be stuck midair?
no. You have to be on sturdy ground to cast Stalwart Shield.
Okay.
I am genuinely shocked this never came up in Test Wave 1. I feel like we had joked about it, but like I so rarely used it that we never actually bothered.
What are you talking about? That shit saved us more than once.
Well, we never
should be able
tried
to,
it while jumping out of an airplane.
We
I
should
was gonna
have.
say,
Tried it
shooting,
while
like,
standing in
violent
an
hamster on
elevator
that shit.
shaft. We tried it while standing in the elevator shaft, trying not to get melted by dragon breath.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
And then, getting murdered by cultists, also great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
It was
I mean,
wonderful.
I'm not the
love it.
one that kicked down a door when there were obviously numerous people on the other side.
I was gonna charm them. Anyway, let's not get into this again. I was just wondering. Go on. I'm useless. It's fine.
So what's your plan?
Do we have any air support? Do we have any way to get in over top of it? Maybe Halo drop in?
Yeah,
We don't need to get in. We need to get out, you silly kitty.
Well, look, I think if we don't have to fight our way up the tower to fight our way back down the tower, I feel like we're going to have a better time of it. If we can just start at the top, place the beacon, and then muscle our way out the downstairs, or
Yeah,
jump
that's
off the
exactly
fucking
what
roof,
we're doing. He's gonna, our weird glowy thing is gonna come in and he's gonna teleport us in, and then we're gonna fight our way out. What's not understanding about the plan? I feel like it makes perfect sense.
Well, after the
And that's why
beacon
we
after the
always
beacon
try.
is activated, we wouldn't need to worry about fighting out. More of
Exactly. So
we
what
should
are
defend-
we talking about?
we should
Let's
de-
go.
we should defend the beacon while it's going to be activated. You said we have between 30 minutes to 60 minutes.
Oh no, to activate the beacon, it will only take about 30 seconds. To get it to no offense, I'm trying to keep things parceled here. I don't want their ears everywhere. Once the beacons are active, we are ready to go at any time. The issue is we have to make sure that all of them are active. So if you guys are too fast, we have to wait for the others to come online.
How long would that take?
There's a small chance you might have to defend it for
Well, see,
an
I have
hour at most. If it's longer than an hour, get out because things went sideways and we failed anyway.
You think very highly of us indeed if you think that we can survive on a sideline infested tower for an hour.
Well, that's why I say
Well,
that if it lasts
hold on.
longer than an hour, we're all dead anyway. So
I think that
the
okay,
actual
that's fine.
the actual
Perfect.
device.
I have a shield. I can just make a shield. We'll wait, and then we'll be fine.
For an hour.
You can do that for a whole hour.
I doubt it'll be a full hour. Once
Yeah,
it's active, once all of the beacons are active, it should only take at most a minute for the devices to power up.
It's fine, guys.
But again, there's the hour padding for in case the other teams aren't as successful as yours. But Yost and I are located in different parts of the city to try and do as much support as we can. I can give you, for air support, I can give you 2 helicopters and a bunch of commandos with guns. They're not, I mean, they're good enough shots that they're not going to accidentally shoot you guys, but you definitely stand out against the side lights. So
I would not want to use their resources lightly, but maybe they could be used more as a distraction, as if we were coming in through the front and not teleporting in to the top of the tower immediately.
that is smart. I can do that.
They'd be fighting from 2 fronts.
Yeah.
It doesn't
that's
Command-
sound
plan?
like
Commander
I would have
Stormfang.
before.
What do you think about this strategy? Is there anything you would like to add? I like to think Rose Draxi. I'm trying to pull it as like Rose Draxi's the stereotypical like the mage that's like next to the king kind of thing, but since it's Retroverse, it's like I'm the advisor to the general.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in my team, and I believe that we will accomplish the plan fully, and you can count on us.
Okay.
We won't let you down.
Does it,
Watch, we'll be back here celebrating with an ice cream party in about 10 minutes. Let's go.
Probably not ice cream, but yeah.
I miss ice cream.
Yeah, you haven't had ice cream in a long time. And just as you guys are about to break, that one elf comes back with like just a pot of coffee. It doesn't look like, it's not a lot of it. It's like literally one little Mr. Coffee kettle of coffee for all of you, and a handful of like styrofoam cups. And he says, "Oh, okay. I guess you guys are done.
Would you?
Before you leave, or
I'm gonna ask you, because this doesn't exist in traditional D&D, so the rules here don't really acknowledge this. As a master transmuter, could I turn water into coffee? And then use prestidigitation to make it warm.
I mean,
could just
prestidigitation
flavor the
lets you
coffee.
change the flavors. So I'd say prestidigitation would do it.
Be like decaf, though.
Yeah, you cast presto twice, and one to change the flavor, one to change the color. and
Like master transmuter wizards.
Yeah, no,
literally,
you're
like
level 20 transmuter,
it's
yeah.
major alchemy. They literally would change it somehow from hydrogen dioxide to
Yeah.
whatever the chemical
I
compound
will
of coffee
say
would
that
be.
you can make water into coffee because you're a level 20 transmuter.
No spells needed. It's just something I can do with 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just go over to it and just turns to coffee.
Okay.
So we've got like stone to
You
mud.
go over to like the water cooler thing, and there was like 2 people just sitting there, standing there talking, and you turn into coffee, and every person in the room turns to you and like, is that coffee? Is that coffee that isn't like 4 years old?
It is
Your
coffee.
suddenly
It is
very-
coffee
very
without
popular.
cream or sugar. You do not need that, for it might make you crash.
They don't care. No one in this room has had anything other than like the 1 tin of instant coffee that they've been hoarding for weeks.
Is it like the same instant coffee that we had in Testament 1 in the
Basically.
I like to think.
Because I think that
It's not 600 years old, but it's pretty shit.
I like to think Ceran, both their tea and coffee, they treat as like this form of perfection. So like Ceran coffee would be like Turkish coffee, where it's the tiny little shot, but that's literally all you need.
Yeah.
Or the Japanese like tea ceremony levels of way over the top
tea
quality.
is also really strong black tea in the same vein as coffee.
Oh
but
yeah.
tea.
Yeah.
So I can see it.
So it's like Turkish coffee levels of coffee in this thing. So it's probably like a lot to go around, relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, do you want me to roll like some kind of check for that or something? I don't know.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You could just make coffee.
Okay. I am the coffee wizard. School of Coffee.
Okay. So,
And yet no cream.
you guys ready to do this?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I must go to little Ceran's room first. And I misty step out of the room.
Okay.
I suppose this whole thing that counts as like a short rest while we're doing this.
Yeah. So did you have any other questions for the nerds? The two people, there's the guy in like the white lab coat and the other guy with like puffy hair and sweater vest are arguing, and the guy in the lab coat stalks off and the other guy comes back around. Sorry.
I low-five you for calling them nerds.
Comes back around, he's like, yeah, sorry. If you guys don't need anything, I was gonna get back to it. I have this sort of like algorithm I've been working on that hopefully will help. If this works, it'll help us rebuild after the fact and find those damn hive brains. And she sort of like, yeah, no, you're a programmer, you go deal with it. And he heads off, and she's like, if there's anything else you guys need, I'll let you have the room so that you can continue your plan, and I'll regroup with the others and make sure that we're all set to go on your mark.
Oh, I do have something for you.
Oh?
Yeah, I found it over there. And she pulls out like a big scrappy, like broken off arm with a sword in it. And she's like, here, I know you like swords.
I love it. And she looks at the machine arm, and then she looks over at Ahsoka, and she's like, do you want that repaired? Like pointing at the big ass gash in your armor.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, we can probably get somebody to help with that. Actually, do we have a mode run around? No, I don't. I think they all went onto the spaceship. Yeah, give me a second. I'll see what we can get. And a few minutes later, a tech comes out, or this little she heads off and comes back with a gnome in like overalls, carrying like a box of the equivalent of tools. He's like, okay, I'm gonna get on the table because I'm short and you're big, but you good? I'm gonna be touching your breastplate, ma'am. I hope you don't mind. All right, I'm just gonna go. And he like pulls out a tube of like the equivalent of an epoxy and starts filling in the crack and sanding it down so it's nice and smooth. And after about 10 minutes or so of your short rest, your armor is now perfectly pristine. It does have like this big crack in it where it's filled in with this sort of like black plastic that sort of makes this gnarly looking cool scar across the front of it. He's like, it should hold up. It won't crack there again, at least, but you know, anywhere else you can still get stabbed through. Yeah. Anything else need fixing? He sort of like looks at the thing on the table, and he's like, I would love to, but the programmer would kill me if I touched that, so I'm gonna go. And he just hops off the table and leaves.
I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've availed myself of all available armory and got all the different kind of ammo that I might need for this trip.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever you guys are ready to go.
Okay.
Before
Okay, so I missed.
Ahsoka get re-upholstered because it's hot.
I missed most of that, but I assume we took a short rest from the sounds of it.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can do anything. I made sure I never cast any spell slots during that little skirmish.
Yeah. So I think you're good.
Because this world's like, in a way, post-apocalyptic. So like even spell slots are. I try to ration them.
Observe them. Yeah.
All right, I'm just double checking my arcane recovery.
Was there something Ahsoka wanted to do?
Yes, I would like to spend 10 minutes inspiring my companions.
Yay!
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, so they can take our lands, but they'll never take our freedom.
I think they can take our freedom.
No. No, you're missing the point. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We've come to...
The Roman.
That's all.
I'm living for this.
Praise Caesar, not punish her. I don't remember.
If you want, you could just like say in general words, like I say something uplifting, like we're doing this for the greater good, or like we're gonna succeed, or something like that, or you can just roll a performance check if you'd like.
And you can use the duck for inspiration.
Quark, 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 quark.
I feel inspired already.
Rose Draxi knows when Commander Stormfang's going to do a famous Commander Stormfang speech, and it says, "May your work bolster our team, and as I touch you, I cast skill empowerment on you, and whatever skill we're using here, is that performance? She gains expertise, which is double your proficiency bonus on top of it. And then I use my short rest to recover that spell slot."
So out of fun, go ahead and roll that performance check at a plus 17.
Okay. Cocked. Hang on.
Because plus 5 charisma, and you guys are level 20, so that's a 6 double.
Okay.
It's 36.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful speech.
Can we get double inspiration?
Rose Draxi cries, which I don't think any of you have seen before. There's like a single tear, and he covers it up.
Oh,
Because you know he views emotion as weakness or some BS.
that was beautiful.
Well, I'm ready to go die
I think
now.
I get the gist.
I think we got it.
Sure is a bad day.
See,
So,
therapy, guys. Let's go.
It sure is a bad day for Rain.
you all have you all
Perhaps
have
it is a
22
good day to die.
temporary hit points.
And
How much?
22 temporary hit points.
Oh, that's all. Wow. I joke sarcastically because Patience wishes he could do that.
Someday. You'll get there.
Is it only 22? And what's your charisma modifier?
Wrote down 22. I don't. It's.
I did write down 22. It might be 25 because I.
And the question is, does his spell affect that?
No, it's
my
just a very
charisma
moving
modifier is
speech.
2.
Oh, it's only a plus 2? I thought it was plus 5. I thought you had a 20 charisma. Wait, what am I thinking of? No, it's a 22. Why am I thinking that? Never mind. Don't mind me. I'm mixing up characters. It's 22. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you guys all have your 22 hit points. Visca does attempts to hide it, but sheds a small tear on eavesdropping from the doorway.
So, I don't think we ever agreed fully on an escape plan. Did we want to go with the first plan A being me turning everyone into aerodactyls, and we try to fly away?
Yes, that sounds amazing.
Because that'll be of the highest circle I can cast. I can only do that once a day.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Fly away and then find cover. It's
Okay.
fine.
Then I don't.
I can fly myself.
Then I don't cast
Fly
for.
too.
He can fly himself.
Then
I can fly too.
I do not cast foresight on myself. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good doggo.
Meta thing here. How late is people willing to play tonight? I know Aya's got to bounce at 10, and I'm willing to run your character. We can either play a little late tonight, we can run it, finish this next session, or we can go balls to the walls hard, and I'll have this thing's hit points and double the damage it can do and try and end it a little faster.
I think my vote is we make this a 2-shot because I don't think we're capable of 1-shots here. So this one was the introduction and planning, and then the next one will be the execution.
I'm already falling asleep hardcore here. So
Okay. Yeah. So, is there anything you guys want to do before, like in preparation, before you head out on your mission?
He is going to groom himself because he's a cat.
Okay. Noted. Make sure you guys write down. I'm actually going to write down that everyone has 22 temporary hit points. And I don't think anybody has any spells active right now or anything.
Not currently. I wrote it down on the character sheet you
Okay,
gave me
cool.
for the temporary hit points.
Yeah. And then next time we will pick up with you guys attempting to take down a machine lord and set up the beacon that will hopefully herald the end of the machine war.
I'm sure it's gonna go fine.
It's gonna be great.
Mhm.
And then if that's all, I'm gonna say Aya, since you have to bounce soon, let's go ahead and do your shout outs first.
Hey everybody, I'm Aya They're on all the Twitters. You can find me there. I have commissions open. I have a special thing that me and Scotty made called a Warlock patron called Connection to All. It's based off of my gnome Warlock Lilia. It's really cute. It's really fun. If you want a soft Warlock that is powered by the power of friendship, go check it out. It's wonderful. I guaranteed you would not be disappointed. Scotty did a great job on all the mechanics.
It looks amazing. It's on DM's Guild. Go buy it.
I posted a link on the Twitch chat. Also, I think we're 12 paid downloads away from it being a copper, if that means anything.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, go follow Aya. She's awesome. I am loving your I'm loving Trouble so damn much.
I love her too. God damn it, she's the worst, and yet I love her so much.
I did have a question. Did we want to share what classes you guys are playing, or did we want to let people guess as they play? As you play?
I'm fine with telling people, but it's
Okay.
whatever.
For those wondering, Trouble is a vaccine De-Fragger, which is actually interesting because it's the first time we've had one of those in Test Wave 2.
And the only De-Fragger that's not a winner.
I rolled randomly for the classes and everything, and it fit really well with this character's backstory.
Yes.
Yeah. So going around, I will say, Jesse, you're up next.
Shout outs for my class.
Yes.
Either or, both.
Okay, so this Sunday we're doing. Well, it's not Waterdeep anymore, so I guess it's Spelljammer 5th edition.
Oh shit, we're space pirates.
Oh yeah, and we've got no hope, except we actually have hope, and it's just a little baby Avamar, and Patience is PTSD'd as fuck, and Rolf is gonna get all of his spells drained every damn day for a week by the Spelljammer, and it's gonna be a great old time. And come and see. Beyond that, I've got, not a whole lot else going on. Just keep watching this space for my Dark Matter campaign sometime.
I just remembered, is Roll out of spells for the day that we get boarded by pirates?
If he's the one
Well,
piloting,
fuck, I
yes.
don't think so. I don't think
Or no,
he
was
was
the
on,
elf piloting?
It was the alpha. It was on duty that day.
I don't know if you guys are playing by different mechanics, but our Spelljammer didn't do that.
Oh no, we're playing by 2-week mechanics because Kevin's a grognard.
Each helm.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, there's different kinds of helms. Each one does
Oh,
different
that
things.
also, yeah.
You probably had a
Ours
better.
is beautiful, magical, and looks like a dragon.
I'm pretty sure Sean spoiled you guys really hard. She gave you the dragon ship and I think a greater helm. We don't have that.
Yeah, no. We have like a torture chair and a couple of cans cobbled together. Yeah.
That makes me feel great about working there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go watch us. That's on Waterdeep on Sundays at 10 a.m. It's fucking awesome. Going around, Reese, what do you have going on?
Reese is
Sorry.
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go follow him though. He's awesome. He normally plays our resident De-Fragger, and I'm very proud of going out of the comfort zone to try a Henshin. Also,
I like
a
it
Lunari
so far.
that's not a De-Fragger. Shocking.
So we had to switch.
Mhm.
breaking out. Yeah.
Okay. Lluis, what do you have going on?
Art, a lot of it. Check me out on Twitter. I post Retroverse art, Daiyo Pokemon, some sexy stuff, and just
Dracula.
sometimes I also draw Kaiju. And on Wednesdays I play here, this channel, Descending Tavernas, and we are the last chapter, right, Scotty?
Oh.
Sorry. Yes, you are on the last chapter. You guys just got the Sword of Zariel.
Oh,
Nice.
Do you
Yeah.
guys, if you guys need any help, I am a master of hell.
our
It's
team is a mess.
it's not tied into Sean's multiverse.
Yeah, go check him out. He's awesome. He draws awesome art and has a Patreon, and maybe we'll draw this adorable little insanity
I have to.
Thank you.
that is Werner
yeah.
Fat Rabbit, which is the best name I've Xanathar's Guide.
I really have to draw it now.
Callie, you're up next.
Hello, you can find me on Twitter at CaptCallie. I have art commissions open all the time, so commission me. My next game is Sunday, the Spelljammer / Waterdeep game here at 10 in the morning, and then at 6:30, Dungeon Academy maybe? I don't know.
I sure goddamn hope so. It's gonna be wonderful if we play because it's gonna be the emo squad led by our Shatter Kai, Driss, giant space emo giant space hamster, and very beautiful, very wonderful what's she?
She's a Shatter Kai.
Another Shatter Kai, also very emo. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be like
Did you guys
2007. It's gonna be
did you
great.
guys ditch Strahd yet?
No.
No.
He fucking sucks.
Arely has
does.
I mean, he is a vampire. That's kind of what he does.
If Arely ever kills him, you are required to send me a clip of that. I need to see it.
That might be a problem because our cleric is trying to reform him, so we'll see how that goes.
Fuck that noise.
Right?
Yeah.
no problem.
Anyway, follow Callie. She's fucking awesome. She actually drew my character for tomorrow's game where I play Dagger Catterley, Bard Archaeologist. It's so good. I love her so much. It's so wonderful finally having art to put to her face. Other than the wonderful art that Scotty did, but that feels like it was a million years ago because it actually was. I think we're going on like 2.5 years for that game.
May 2017.
Holy shit. I love
Y'all
you
started on my birthday.
guys so much. I have had a blast having you guys for this year. It has been so much fun. check us out tomorrow, 7 o'clock, where we're maybe going to be fighting on the Lithid or something, and definitely not going to die. Yeah, but I'm going to let Scotty take the rest of the way because he knows what's happening, and I don't, other than the fact that we were wandering the streets of
Neverwinter.
And
boy.
almost got jumped by a mind flayer. Yeah.
It's always good to have
Scotty, you're up.
Neverwinter be involved.
Yeah, I joked about Sean's, but I didn't go as far as Sean does because he actually plays the Neverwinter MMO, so he was able to make a lot more jokes on the game. Anyway, so thank you everyone who's watching here, either on YouTube or on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, all of the YouTube backlogged playlists of the 50 bajillion D&D campaigns hosted on this channel are down there. I think the first game tomorrow is going to be Chaos Crew at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Will they finally fucking finish the quest that they've been trying to go on for the last 5 episodes so me and Callie can come play?
Well, Patience is in the party, so no.
Yeah, that tracks.
He called Hallister mid-shower, and he saw his gross, soggy old man butt.
What the fuck kind of setting are you guys using? Because it doesn't normally do that.
We're in Undermountain. We're in one of the actual floors of Undermountain,
Yeah.
and the NPC gave us an item and said use it she said that she was going to use it in case there was an emergency. And I'm like, well, if this thing's an emergency, why don't I use it? And then she's like, okay. So right before we were going to go do the thing, I use it. And when I use it, apparently it summons Hallister. That was what it was.
Oh.
And that's where we left off. And he was naked, taking some kind of shower, I guess.
Uh-huh.
At least, at least that was the reason he was naked.
Please leave to the wedding. I really want to play. I really want to play.
But yeah, that's tomorrow at 3, and then as Kat, our Gridmaster, said, we'll have our Adventures Trackle C at 7.
I can't wait, I've missed it so much.
Yep, and oh yeah, I got an account on Fiverr. It is linked to my Twitter, so if you go on my Twitter, you can find it. I do a bunch of character commissions for I will do for Shadowrun, for D&D, for whatever your fantasy OC characters are. I'll draw them for you. So you can find them there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my stuff.
I guess we'll see you guys next week for Corruption Crew's version of Anniversary Apocalypse.
Oh, so I'm not playing next week. Awesome.
It's up to you if you want to, you can or not. We'll talk about it. Okay. Yeah, where they also go through something similar, but in a war much older than the Machine War. So tune in next time to see what they're going to be facing.
Oh God.
Test Wave 0. All right.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
Bye.